Now I will tell you, one of the things I miss the most on a low-carb diet are French fries. And after my 4th of July video, one of my subscribers put a photo on Facebook making a couple of my recipes, and she said she made some Heavenly Fan fries. And I'm like, oh, there's a good keto fry like in the frozen section or something? So I started Googling it and I'm like, I don't really see anything. But then I found it. This is a French fry recipe from Heavenly Fans, who I'd not heard of. But she said she absolutely loved them. And I haven't come up with anything for keto fries, so I figured I'd give it a try. Now, of course, I can't leave well enough alone, so I added some extra stuff, which in my opinion makes it even better, but you'll have to be the judge of that. I made it 2 different ways just to see which came out better, and I've got an opinion, but I'd like to know yours as well. Anyway, who says you cannot have fries anymore if you're on a keto or low carb diet? I'm not gonna say it anymore because I'll make these time and time again. Let's do some fries right after this. Now I'll say my burger nights have been missing a little something here for a while. And what it is was fries. So I'm so glad for this suggestion for this recipe. I really love it. I don't think I could have come up with anything better myself, except for the one addition that I made, which I think really makes it better. But I'm gonna put that Heavenly Fans video link down below, so if you wanna watch it, check it out for yourself. And I really love it when somebody comes up with a great inventive recipe like that. And I think in this keto and carnivore community, we can all come together and do a lot of great things and share things amongst each other that you may not have seen before. I know I hadn't, but let's go ahead and get in the kitchen. I'll show you how I put together these Heavenly Fans French fries. Here are all the ingredients you're gonna need for these fries. You're gonna need some almond flour, first of all. And I'm gonna make these fries 2 different ways, and I'll show you which way that I like the best. You need 1 cup of almond flour if you wanna make a single batch of these. Or you can easily double or triple it. The next thing you're gonna need, one of my favorite ingredients, is xanthan gum. You're gonna need a tablespoon of xanthan gum in there. That's what holds those fries together and makes them absolutely delicious with a great texture. And the only other ingredients you'll need is some hot water. You're gonna need anywhere from 6 to 8 tablespoons of hot water, just whatever it takes to bring it together into a nice dough. Start with 6 and see how it goes. And I do have one secret ingredient that I add in, but I'll show you that in just a minute. The first way I'm gonna make these fries is in the oven. So you need to go ahead and preheat your oven to 400 degrees. That's the temperature we're gonna cook them at. And this is not in the original recipe, but you're gonna need a yellow mixing bowl. I just don't know how anybody gets stuff to taste good without one. But hey, somehow it works. So I'm just gonna take the 1 cup of almond flour and put it right into the mixing bowl. Then I'm gonna go in with my tablespoon of xanthan gum, add that into the mix as well. And then I'll start adding in the hot water. Now this does not need to be boiling water, just hot. And I'm just gonna start out with 6 tablespoons and give it a good mix and see if it comes together in a nice dough ball or not. If not, you gotta add a little bit more, but we'll see what happens here. And that looks like it's gonna come together really good, so I don't think I'm gonna have to add any more water. Sometimes you might need to add an extra tablespoon, maybe 2, just depending on your ingredients, but I think this is fine. So I'm just gonna go in with my secret ingredient. My secret ingredient is the extract. You just need like 5 or 6 drops in there. This stuff's super strong. And I'll leave a link down in the description if you don't have any. Now I'm gonna take a big cutting board and I'm gonna spray that down with either some olive oil or some avocado oil just to keep this dough from sticking. And I gotta get my hands in there, so I'm just gonna spread it out a little more with my hands. Then I'm gonna take this dough for these keto fries and just put it right down on top of that board. And this is what your dough should look like. So if it does, just form it into a nice little dough ball so that we can go on to the next step. So just put it back on your board and then press it down because we're gonna break out the old rolling pin. And you know I love to show you things that work and things that don't work. So here's 2 fails right here. Number 1, if you use the rolling pin like that, and leave me a comment down there if you know a way to keep that from happening, but it sure did stick. And I know if I had a silicone rolling pin or something like that, it probably wouldn't stick bad, but hey, I don't have one, so I'm gonna figure this out. So I balled it up again, put it down on there, and this time I tried it with a little bit of parchment paper on top. So I'm just gonna press it down and start rolling. Well, Look at that cutting board sliding everywhere. And the bad thing is, I know better, but I'm hard-headed. But the easy solution to keep your cutting board from sliding all over the place is just take a kitchen towel, wet it, and put that cutting board right onto it. Now, it ain't going anywhere. Now we're cooking with hot grease. So now I'll just roll this back and forth between the parchment paper and that cutting board and roll it out till it gets about the thickness of a French fry, however you like your French fries. And then look how easy this peels back, and you got yourself what looks like a biscuit dough. So I'm just gonna start forming it. I'm gonna make a big old rectangle so that I can cut these into the kind of fries I want. You can make shoestring fries out of these, or you can make them a little thicker if you want to. Hadn't figured out the crinkle fry part yet. I mean, I reckon you could take a wavy cutter and cut it on both sides with a wavy cutter, and then take one, flip it around, cut it on the other sides, but it seems like a whole lot of trouble. So I'm just gonna go in, make it nice and tidy here, and cut it into a big old rectangle. And that one little piece right there just doesn't want to go with the rest of them. But hey, it don't have a choice. It's gonna make a nice little fry. And just set all those non-rectangle pieces over to the side because we're going to use those in just a minute. So you got a little rectangle like that. Now you can cut those to the width that you want, but try to make them the same width as they are tall. Now if you just can't wait anymore, I guess you could eat them just like this, but I sure wouldn't recommend it. What I recommend to do is go ahead and get a baking sheet, put some parchment paper on it and crinkle it up real good like that so it sticks down like it's supposed to, and spray it real good with either some olive oil or avocado oil, whatever your favorite non-seed oil is. And yeah, you could use some butter or you could use some bacon grease, but I just like a spray, so until they come up with a bacon grease spray or a butter spray, I'm gonna keep using my easy spray. And then just spread them out on that baking sheet proper, just like this. Unless you just couldn't wait and they're all gone already, but I sure hope not. And then just ball up the remains of that big rectangle and make yourself a small rectangle. So just press it down, do the same thing we did with the other, but it's gonna be a little tinier. And then just cut them as pretty or ugly as you want. And see, by that time I had lost interest, so they're a little bit uglier than the first ones, but hey, they're gonna taste just fine. And after they're all laid out on this baking sheet, you can see you could easily double this recipe and still fit them on the pan. And then I'm just gonna spray the tops of these to make sure they get a nice brown on top also. I mean, I guess you could take a brush and some butter or beef tallow if you wanted to, but hey, this is a whole lot easier. If you like keto side dishes or low carb side dishes or even carnivore side dishes sometimes, make sure you subscribe down there, hit the bell, and when I do a new video, you'll know about it. So now it's time for these keto French fries to make their little trip to the oven. Now these have got to cook for about 15 minutes total, but what I did on this is I set this timer for 9 minutes, and once that's over, I'm gonna flip them around a little so they get evenly brown. So after the 9 minutes is up and it's all steamy in there, just take them out, put them on the counter, and we'll flip them around a little and just see how they look. Now, if you don't want to do them in the oven, you could probably do these in the air fryer as well, but I haven't tried that yet. That's not my other method, but I think it would work in there just fine, and you probably wouldn't have to flip them around as much. But man, they are looking good already. Brown on this side, and they're just gonna brown up even more once I put them back in. So back in they go. Time to crisp up the rest of them and get them French fry-ish. And I'm just gonna go for another 5 minutes and see how they look at that point. And I can make the determination then whether to go an extra minute or not. And of course I got some burgers going on the side. I mean, what's fries without a burger, right? So I'm just gonna cook these up and we're gonna be eating good tonight. Now once they're done, I'll take them out of the oven and this is what they look like. You could go a little more brown if you wanted to, but I think these came out just perfect. The texture's really good on them. And it makes a great fry. And so if you thought you couldn't have French fries anymore, if you're eating keto or low carb, you are absolutely wrong. These things are delicious. I'm telling you, the ingredients, when I first looked at it, I didn't know how it was going to turn out. but they are awesome. But you can put these down, just serve them with a little side of my homemade ketchup recipe, and you really got something going on there. Now I told you I was going to make them 2 ways. That way is good, but this is my favorite. Take a large skillet, I love this hex-clad skillet, and just put some olive oil in there, get it nice and hot, and just drop these right in. Now I don't think she did this in the original recipe, but I had to try them, because I mean, I love deep frying everything. And of course, since French fries are deep fried, I gotta deep fry the fries. So just let them sit there and enjoy their little hot tub visit, if you will. They're frying up nice. And then you're going to check them in just a couple minutes to make sure they're browning up. And when they are, just take a fork, tongs, whatever you want to flip them over with. Flip them over, see if they're browning up. If they are, flip the rest. If not, just leave them alone for a little bit. This is what they should look like once they're getting ready, and tell me that doesn't look just like a French fry. Just flip them all over, make sure they're nice and French fry-y brown, and if they are, just start taking them out onto a paper towel lined plate, and you have got yourself some legit keto French fries. And now my recommendation would be, since you already got that oil nice and hot, you should fry up some okra or fried green tomatoes or fish or something. And I'll put the link to some of those down in the description if you hadn't seen them. I'm just telling you right now, if you thought your French fry days were done when you started keto and low carb, you were absolutely wrong. Salt them up and you're ready. I'll put a couple more videos over there, some side dishes that I think you'll like as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on one of those 2 videos.